Now let's talk about the domain and range for the graph, for exponential function and log functions. First, let's take a look at the graph on the top left corner. In order to find the domain is the x we can take, and the range is the y we can take. So for the blue graph, we can take everything. We can take every x from very small to very large. So we can say that we can take everything, take r, all the real numbers. As for the range, we can only take y is larger than 0. The blue line never crosses the x-axis, so y never go below 0. So the range, we can say that is y larger than 0. And for the logarithm, we take a look at the bottom left graph. The log function has a domain of x is larger than 0 and the range of y in R. Since on the red graph we can take everything on y, but only for the x we only have x larger than 0. So the exponential function has range y larger than 0 and domain x being in R. Compared with the log, range and domain of the log function, we can see that the range and domain are exactly flipped. So here we have y is larger than 0, here we have x is larger than 0, here we have the domain being x is in R. In the log, we have y being in R. They're flipped. The domain of exponential becomes the range of the log, and the range of the exponential becomes the domain of log. Let us see if it's the case when a is larger than 1, so the graph's on the right. For the exponential function, we again have the domain of R and the range of y larger than 0. We can see it's the same. We can take everything of x, but we can only take y larger than 0. And for the red line, for the log function, things are still the same. We can take everything of y in R, but we won't have x larger than 0. This is the domain. This is the range. We can see that they're again flipped. On the bottom, we have y is in R. On the above, we have the x in R. On the above, we have y larger than 0. At the bottom, we have on the above, we have y larger than 0. At the bottom, we have x larger than 0. These are the domain and the range of the exponential and logarithm functions. As we can see, no matter whether a larger than 1 or smaller than 1, we always have the same domain and the same range for logarithm. And we have the same domain and the same range for the exponential.